With major battles, unexpected turns, and more, Ahsoka Episode 7 is an action-packed addition to the Star Wars series that aims to set up its impending conclusion. While Morgan Elsbeth and Grand Admiral Thrawn are fully conspiring, Sabine has at long last reconnected with Ezra Bridger. Ezra wants to return home with Sabine, but Thrawn has a meticulously thought-out plan to return to the well-known Star Wars galaxy that he is not keen on changing. For better or worse, all of their dreams are placed on hold when Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka arrives on Peridea. Hera Syndulla begins the penultimate episode by arguing her case to the New Republic in light of her illegal expedition to assist Ahsoka and Sabine on Cedos in episodes 4 and 5. Meanwhile, Ahsoka finally arrives at Peridea and is greeted there by Thrawn's rage and his meticulous planning. As the protagonist and her enemies begin to run into each other while looking for what they came to Peridea for, they encounter a number of challenges. With the climax coming next week, Episode 7 sets up the conclusion of the story with non-stop action and a ton of amazing revelations. Confirmed location of Ahsoka in the Star Wars timeline in the 7th episode of Ahsoka, Carson Teva speaks up for Hera Syndulla. Carson Teva, who had previously served by Hera's side on Cedos, enters the New Republic court in the opening scene of Ahsoka Episode 7. He draws attention to the things that happened on Mandalore against Moff Gideon in order to contradict a disparaging statement made about Imperial remnants. Naturally, Teva is alluding to the reclaiming of Mandalore in The Mandalorian Season 3 under the leadership of Bo-Katan Kryze and Din Djarin, which has been conjectured for a long time. C-3PO makes an unexpected Star Wars cameo in Ahsoka Episode 7. In Ahsoka Episode 7, C-3PO is shown standing next to Hera Syndulla in place of Leia, with Anthony Daniels resuming his legendary role as the dependable droid C-3PO. Leia Organa has been replaced in Star Wars. Although the adored senator herself is absent, C-3PO is sent to accompany Hera on her illegal trip to Cedos. In Ahsoka Episode 5, Teva made reference to Leia when she informed Hera that the senator was actively attempting to cover for them. Now that C-3PO has confirmed Leia is siding with Hera, Chancellor Mon Mothma has reason to be concerned. Anakin Skywalker from Episode 7 of Ahsoka, in which Ahsoka trains with him, Hayden Christensen comes back once again as Anakin Skywalker, and this time, it's to help directly with Ahsoka's training. The holovids are strikingly evocative of the training sessions Anakin would host for Ahsoka, as seen in Tales of the Jedi, notably showing his desire to teach her to protect herself. Ahsoka is actively utilizing both of her lightsabers in the manner Anakin first taught her for the first time since the beginning of the saga. Huyang is taken aback when she tells him that Anakin recorded 20 holovids for her to use as training aids. This means Ahsoka had previously kept them a secret, and her telling Huyang about them as well as using them now reveals just how much Ahsoka has overcome her trauma thanks to her experience with Anakin in the world between worlds in Episode 5. Thrawn learns Ahsoka is Anakin Skywalker's apprentice. Grand Admiral Thrawn learns of Ahsoka being Anakin's apprentice in Ahsoka Episode 7. Grand Admiral Thrawn is one of the few who knows that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader, but in Episode 7, he finds out that Anakin had an apprentice and that it was Ahsoka. As someone who served at Anakin and Vader's sides before, Thrawn is familiar with Anakin's power, and there's no doubt the thought of Ahsoka inheriting even a fraction of those abilities scares him, if even for just a moment. Thrawn does, however, quickly gain the clarity to use his experiences with Anakin and Vader to predict Ahsoka's next moves, as he knows she'll seek to do things her way, and all he'll have to do is follow. Ahsoka Episode 7 confirms Sabine is officially Force-sensitive. Sabine hears Ahsoka's call through the Force in Ahsoka Episode 7. After a thrilling chase through the debris ring of Peridea, Ahsoka reaches out to Sabine in order to locate her. Sabine is able to answer that call through the Force in a way that's fully reminiscent of Luke Skywalker and Leia in The Empire Strikes Back. Sabine describes the feeling to Ezra as familiar, which hints Sabine's truly had the Force in her all along. This has been teased a few times already in the series, and now a shift has occurred in Sabine, strong enough to let her attune to the feeling of the Force that flows through her. In Ahsoka Episode 7, Baylan has his own agenda. In Episode 7 of Ahsoka, Baylan Skoll notices Shin Hati pursuing Sabine and Ezra. One of the most unexpected turns of the episode involves Baylan Skoll's decision to leave his apprentice, Shin Hati, in favor of pursuing his hidden agenda. Though it is uncertain what he desires, it causes a significant disruption in Thrawn's plans because Baylan is now a variable that Thrawn cannot control, much like Sabine. Although Baylan has been telling Shin that what he seeks is a power neither the Jedi nor the Sith could ever imagine, Orbesh letters on Baylan's wrist gadget have been pointing towards a theory that Baylan has a secret mission to kill the Skywalkers throughout the series, which he most likely departed to continue. The Night Troopers. The fall of the Ahsoka Night Trooper theory in Ahsoka Episode 7. Undead Thrawn's Night Troopers encircle Sabine and Ezra. In Episode 7, Sabine, Ezra, and Ahsoka defeat a good number of Thrawn's Night Troopers. None of the troopers pass away in the same way as Inquisitor Merrick did in Episode 4, when Ahsoka's lightsaber sliced through the mercenary summoned by NIGHtSISTERR magic, bursting with a cloud of green smoke. Though it's possible that not all of Thrawn's men are undead, the absence of this green smoke upon the deaths of the Night Troopers refutes the myth that the army is made up of zombies. Several clues indicate that Captain Enoch is made of NIGHtSISTERR magic, much like Merrick was, and he is still unharmed. Shin may be redemption. According to Ahsoka.I in Ahsoka Episode 7, Ahsoka invites Shin Hati to seek atonement. Ahsoka extends her hand to assist Shin on the road to redemption when Shin is left without forces to support her and without a master to come and save her. For the time being, Shin has turned down the offer and fled, but it is obvious that Baylan's apprentice would take Ahsoka's request for Shin into consideration. To make this offer, Ahsoka must have seen glimmers of Shin's light side. These glimmers may have grown stronger as a result of Shin's disappointment at her own master's abrupt shift in course. Viewers had hoped that Shin would experience the kind of redemption arc that Kylo Ren never experienced, and Ahsoka's invitation significantly advances that hope. Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine reunite in joy in Episode 7 of Ahsoka. Sabine witnesses Ezra and Ahsoka kissing. At the end of Episode 7, Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine are finally reunited. While Ahsoka sees Ezra for the first time since he saved her in the World Between Worlds in Season 4 of Star Wars Rebels, Sabine is able to confirm that her master has not passed away. It's been a long time coming, and it's nothing short of a happy moment. Sabine's unwillingness to tell Ezra the truth about how she actually arrived in Peridea is what has remained. In spite of this, the reunion is emotional for those who have been anticipating it ever since Ahsoka and Sabine's search for Ezra was introduced in the Rebels epilogue. Despite Ezra's happy and hopeful reunion with his family at the end of Ahsoka Episode 7, Thrawn's scheme still hangs over them. He is aware that time is working against the Jedi group, and that, should Thrawn leave Peridea before the other three, there would be no way for the Jedi to return to the well-known Star Wars galaxy. The Ahsoka finale promises lots of action as the prospect of Thrawn's return grows more imminent. However, the light of these three reunited Jedi may be sufficient to drive out his shadowy presence.